Spirituality is your reality. It's not some feeling you get. It's not some ritual you do. It's not some ceremony you can get involved in. All of those things may be a part of the what's the word? The aesthetics of learning these ideas. But spirituality is about finding harmony between you and your mate. Studying history to learn how your ancestors created that harmony, then practice it to see if you can create it for yourself. Spirituality is being able to sit down with your neighbors and your brothers and sisters, African people, and say, listen, why are we shopping at their supermarket? Why can't we go to the same wholesale place they buy their stuff and bring it? Oh, we don't have a building. Oh, we have a church. It's a building. We have a lodge. It's a building. We have a community center. It's a building. Let's go and collectively shop at the same warehouse he shopped, at the same wholesale market he shopped, and bring it and distribute it to ourselves in our church, our community center, or our home. Do I need the aesthetics of stands and hooks and things to try and advertise to me to buy some junk that's already rotten when it got to that store in the first place? Or can I not go to the same fruit market, the same meat market, the same fish market in a collective way? All of us that live in this community with our cars and our trucks, and buy these items collectively and come and distribute it to ourselves. And let our enemy sell us that building for cheap when he can't get our money anymore. And then we can set up a market that you may be more accustomed to. Mm-hmm. It's that simple, you know. That's spirituality. Spirituality should be your reality, where you have harmony and balance in your life. Why am I sending my children to a school? Won't teach my history. Will put the police up if I come and demand that my history is taught. Send me my children back home barely reading and writing at the 12th grade. No job training, no skills or anything for them except to go into the street and sell dope or whatever crime to survive. And I still wake up the next generation and beat them if they don't go to school and learn how to die at the hands of the white man. Think. Maybe we got to work, so we can't keep them home every day. But let's take them. We got these churches. Yes, we got them. Y'all are all Christians. Don't be playing. We got these lodges. We got these sororities. We got these fraternities, and almost all of them got some kind of space. On Saturday and Sunday, let's teach our children what we want them to be taught. In the evening after school, let's make sure they all can do their homework so they can master science and mathematics. What else have we to do? To watch movies and live in someone else's fantasies? To smoke and try to convince ourselves because we're intoxicated from herbs that that's somehow normal and natural? That's bullshit. That's normal and natural than if you sit there and drink all the alcohol all day. Anything in moderation is good for you, even a little alcohol. But we've gone beyond the pale without socializing and wonder why we're not growing anything. Well, you can have the most beautiful soil in the world and some of the best seeds in the world that you just throw into the field. But if you don't get there and cultivate that seed, it'll die on top of the ground in the best soil in the world. Same thing with our children and their education. We need to take responsibility. If we can't control the public schools, then let's be an addendum to it that will make sure what they don't give our children, we give them. And a degree to which we can begin to build smaller private schools or having group of parents having group homeschooling situations. We use all the methods available. That's what spirituality is about. It's not praying or singing or dancing or wearing a certain type of African clothing or a bunch of beads. Beads is nice and decorative. It looks beautiful, but this is nothing but stone and cord. All right? It symbolizes something. But I have to believe that the symbol is a workable set of ideas to change my life. Otherwise, throw that shit in the garbage. So Spirituality should be your daily reality, meaning I'm going to live according to a set of ethical and moral principles that will guide my character and behavior so that my actions towards my survival around providing food, clothing, shelter, safety, and security will be thus and so. Over
Beautiful.
here, we have Kwanzaa. Those 7 principles are universal African principles. They're not an African American thing. Maulana Karanga and the others got it from all over African cultures and brought it together. What would be a simple 10? We can live them every day. They're appropriate for every day of our life. That's our spirituality.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
We're lost in Western mysticism and call it African spirituality, and you still be begging at his feet for crumbs with all your African clothes on, and you speak in Swahili and yada, yada, yada. But if you can't provide food, clothing, shelter, safety, and security for yourself and your family, you're not being spiritual. If you can't get control of the economic, politics, and culture where you live, you're not being spiritual. What set of organizational strategy that will allow you to do this in the short term and extend into the long term? And I say that's communal, collective, cooperative behavior. And we can learn more of that as we study our culture and the history of our ancestors.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Baba Smalls. The next question is from Stephanie Smart, who says, so powerful. As we enter the winter solstice tomorrow and the great conjunction, what is your, someone else actually asked that question. They wanted to find out what is your opinion on that tomorrow?
I'm not very good on astronomy and astrology, but I know a little about it. There's going to be some energy changes, and we're going to be affected by that energy. Because there's no way those 2 planets could come together that close without certain vibrations and energy. But every day we're being affected by the energy and the vibrations of everything else in the universe. And it isn't making any difference because we're not making a difference. It's going to come right back to the basics. If I get all the vibrations in the world, if I see all the colors in the world, what should change? And if the fundamentals don't change, how I go about providing food, clothing, shelter, and safety for myself, my family, and my group, how I get control of economic, politics, and culture. If I want to study the universe, then let me imitate the universe. Let me imitate the sun. Let me imitate the moon. Let me imitate the planets, because this isn't the first time they've been a conjunction, and it will happen again. Because our ancestors studied the universe for more than 50,000 years, and they talk about the 25,000-year cycles, which we are entering part of now. But unless we understand how we are to imitate that cycle to create harmony and balance within ourselves, our family, and our community, so that we can provide for ourselves without begging at the feet of the exploiters and complain about being exploited, then nothing will change. Be the universe. Be the universe.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And that leads me next on to Yoli, who says, thank you. My question is, how can we help our family to break away from the thought that African spirituality is evil?
Studying history. If anybody African who is breathing and know history can think Christianity and Islam is good, they're so mentally damaged, it may be better that they be put to sleep. Because there's no way you can tell me that the only thing bad you can say about African spirituality is that, oh, she used something to take my husband. Oh, they used something to take my wife. Oh, I can't get any work today because somebody must have done something. And then the person who murdered you by the millions, genocided you by the millions, stole all of your wealth, have reduced you to a beggar in their society, treat you with racism and disrespect and no regards, you go and worship and honor the same God he worships and honors, that's total insanity. History will erase the white man's mystery and give you some clarity about your ancestry.
Beautiful. And Siona wants to know are you still teaching university courses?
Oh, they kicked me out of the university years ago. It took them 20 years to do it. But they finally, use our own people, by the way, because unfortunately, so many of us are so damaged. And the more doctorate degrees and stuff we get for some of them, the more damaged we become. But I did what I did where I was for that 20 years. And then I moved into the community. I've been teaching, even when I was at the university, I was teaching in the community. I was teaching in the community before the university. I went to the university really not to teach you anything. I went to just take it over physically. And that's what we did, and give it to the Black community. But they weren't strong enough to hold what we gave them. But we got a lot of our young people through there with skills and tools to come back and help the community. And there's still some good, strong brothers and sisters in the community, the system around the world. The key thing we've got to remember is that we must learn and study our history. Because if you don't, you'll always be a slave to his history, his telling the story of your relationship. Because history is about your relationship to the rest of creation. So if the relationship is based on your murderer's point of view, and you're the murdered victim, what do you think that's going to look like? It looks like the mess we're in now all over the world. Where if you ask one person, why are you against African traditional spiritual system? I guarantee you can't get a logical answer. Because one, they've never studied it. Two, they don't know how it works or what it is or even that it exists. Yeah. It's just a phrase to them. Yeah. If you ask them, why are you a Muslim or you're a Christian? The best thing they can tell you, because my mother was or my father was. Ask them how it works. Tell them, oh, you're a Hebrew Israelite. Okay. So in the book of Exodus, you said your God gave you the right to go to Canaan and murder everybody. It's in the Bible. You go and murder everybody. He was so ruthless. He said the women and girls who have known men, kill them all and take only the virgins. Kill their chickens and their dogs. This is in your Bible. You want me to follow that? Oh, but you didn't read that. Well, read it. You want me to follow a book that said a man, a white man, died on a cross for you, but then he came back alive in 2 days or something like that. And then he went up to heaven somewhere after that. But he's going to come back one day and save you, so you don't have to fight his brother who's murdering you. Just be cool. He'll come back and save you one day in the new resurrection. That sounds so... Alice in Wonderland is better than that one. Okay? So, but then you get mad with me when the voodoo priest raised somebody from the dead. You call him a zombie.